Myself Dr. Anuj Purwar. Today I am taking lecture on water quality criteria. The precipitation of water at the time of its formation contains no impurities, but during its falling through the atmosphere of the earth it dissolves several gases and traces of minerals. When water finally falls on the surface of the earth, it comes in contact with various physical, chemical, and bacterial impurities. As flows over the surface of the earth, the water picks up or dissolves particles of soil, garbage, sewage, pesticides, and other living and chemical waste. Further, as the surface water seeps into the ground, most of the suspended particles are filtered out, but while passing through different layers of soils and rocks, dissolves the minerals and salts present earth layer before finally meeting the water table. So, to ensure safety to public health and utility to industries, certain criteria are required for water intended for consumption so that the final product going to use for purpose is safe and in permissible limits. The raw or treated water can be checked and analyzed by studying its physical, chemical, and biological characteristics. Physical characteristics of water. Color. Chemically pure water has a blue tint, but many natural surface water has a yellow appearance. Color in an unpolluted water can be caused by humic and peaty material and by naturally occurring metallic salts, usually of iron and manganese. Water subjected to industrial pollution can contain a wide variety of colored material. The color of water is usually expressed in Hazen units, which are the same as the platinum cobalt scale. The standard unit of color is that which is produced by 1 milligram of platinum cobalt dissolved in 1 liter of distilled water. Taste and odor. The dissolved organic materials, inorganic salts, and dissolved gases impart taste and odor to water. Taste and odor is a subjective test which may be expressed upon description rather than quantitative result. Although taste and odor occur together, there are certain non-volatile substances such as sodium chloride which give rise to taste without causing odor. For drinking purpose, water must not contain any undesirable or objectionable taste and odor. However, some taste imparted by dissolved oxygen and dissolved carbon dioxide are generally desirable. Turbidity. Large amount of fine suspended matter make the water to appear cloudy or turbid in appearance. The turbidity depends upon the fineness and concentration of particles present in water. The clay and the other inert materials suspended in water is not harmful to health. They are to be removed if the concentration is more because of aesthetic and psychological reasons. The turbidity is an indication of the clarity of water. Although turbidity is caused due to suspended solids, the turbidity cannot be fully correlated with the quantitative measurement. It depends on shape, size, and refractive indices of the suspended particles as well. To distinguish between the turbidities measured from instrumental and visual methods, nephelometric turbidity units are known as NTU. Temperature. Temperature of water is dependent on atmospheric and ground condition. Generally, it is found to be 2 to 3 degrees centigrade higher or lower than ambient temperature. Testing of temperature has therefore no practical significance for drinking water. However, it is to be known that for potable water, a temperature of 10 degrees centigrade is highly desirable, whereas temperature above 25 degrees centigrade are considered to be objectionable. Conductivity. It is measurement of the ability of a solution to carry electrical current. As this ability is dependent upon the presence of ions in a solution, conductivity or specific conductivity is an excellent indicator of total dissolved salts in a water sample. The total amount of dissolved salts present in a water sample is estimated by measuring specific conductivity of water and is expressed in micromoles per centimeter at 25 degrees centigrade. For most of the water samples, if the conductivity is multiplied by a factor in the range of 0.55 to 0.70, preferably 0.65, it gives a close approximation of the dissolved solid in milligram per liter. Now, chemical characteristics. pH. The pH value is a measurement of acidity or alkalinity of water. Pure water is slightly ionized into positive hydrogen ions and negatively charged hydroxyl ions. A solution is neutral when the number of hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions are equal and each corresponding to an approximately concentration of 10 to power minus 7 moles per liter. This neutral point is temperature dependent and occurs at pH 7 at 25 degrees centigrade. The pH value of water is determined by the interrelationship between free carbon dioxide and the amount of carbonate and bicarbonate present. Water having low pH value is having tendency of corrosion, and if it is very low, the taste will be acidic or sour and will be unacceptable to the public. Acidity. Acidity is an unpolluted water is usually due to dissolved carbon dioxide which produces weak carbonic acid. Due to presence of mineral, acidic water polluted by industrial effluent have pH less than 3.7. Most natural water is buffered by a carbon dioxide or bicarbonate system in which carbonic acid exists in the pH range of 4.5 to 8.3. When pH range is less than 4.5, mineral acidity is unlikely to occur naturally. Alkalinity. Alkalinity is due to the bicarbonate, carbonate and hydroxide ions in the water. They are usually in association with calcium, magnesium, sodium and potassium. Bicarbonate alkalinity is in equilibrium with carbon dioxide in the pH range of 4.6 to 8.3. Above pH 8.3, free carbon dioxide ceases to exist and combines to give carbonate and bicarbonate alkalinity. No limits have been given for alkalinity level in water, but high concentration of sodium bicarbonate gives rise to taste problems in water. Hardness. Hardness in water is defined as that characteristics which represents formation of sufficient lather or foam when such water is mixed with soaps. Hardness due to the presence of bicarbonates and carbonates of calcium and magnesium are known as temporary hardness. Due to presence of sulfates, chlorides and nitrates of calcium or magnesium present in water, the hardness does not go by boiling and it requires some special treatment for removing hardness or making it soft. Such hardness is known as the permanent hardness. Hardness is commonly defined as the calcium carbonate equivalent of calcium and magnesium ions present in water, and it is expressed as milligram per liter. The pressure of calcium or magnesium ions in water result in the formation of scale in hot water system and increases soap consumption. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is one of the components of carbonate equilibrium in water. Free carbon dioxide contained of water depends upon the alkalinity and the pH value and causes corrosive properties in water. Surface water generally contains less than 10 mg per liter of free carbon dioxide, but groundwater and some deep borehole water are found to have concentration more than 100 mg per liter. Chloride. Chlorides, which are compounds of chlorine with other elements or radicals, are present in mostly all natural water, and range of concentration are very wide. The concentration due to chloride are mostly with sodium in the form of sodium chloride, which is known as the common salt, and to some extent with calcium and magnesium. Chlorides are derived from natural mineral deposits from agriculture or irrigation discharge, from sewage and industrial effluents. Chlorides are not detrimental to health, but the salt intake for people suffering from heart or kidney ailment has to be restricted. But salt intake from drinking water is very small compared to that from foodstuffs. Fluoride. Fluoride occurs sometimes naturally in water. If not, it should be added in controlled quantity during treatment process. Fluoridation of water supplies to a level of 1 mg per liter is safe and effective in reducing dental caries. However, optimum concentration of fluoride has to be controlled because excessive amount lead to fluorosis, which causes mottling of the teeth and sometimes bone damage both in children and adult. Groundwater passing through chalk or limestone under clay formation may have high concentration of fluoride. Pesticides. Pesticides include inorganic compounds such as copper sulfate, chlorinated hydrocarbons such as DDT. Pesticides come into natural water from direct application for aquatic plants and insect control and percolation or runoff from agriculture fields and discharges from industries. The organic compounds, especially chlorinated hydrocarbons, reduce the chemical and biochemical degradation. Accidental discharge of pesticides in bulk becomes more serious, causing fish death, and in that case waterworks intakes may have to be temporarily shut down. Sulfates. Presence of sulfates in water may be from different sources. Dissolution of gypsum and other mineral deposits containing sulfates, from oxidation of sulfides, and from industrial effluents are main resources. Sulfates in water contribute permanent hardness. High level of concentration imparts taste, and if combined with magnesium and sodium has a laxative effect. Bacterial reduction of sulfates under anaerobic conditions produces hydrogen sulfide, which is an objectionable gas smelling like rotten eggs. This happens in case of water from deep wells, but the odor disappears with efficient erosion. Concentration of sulfide in natural water varies over a wide range. Phenols. Phenol compounds in surface water are mainly found due to pollution from the industries. effluent from petrochemicals, washing from tarmac roads, gas liquids, and creosoted surfaces are the main sources of phenols. Natural phenols are found in water from decaying algae. Phenols are also found in groundwater, the area with oil-bearing strata. Presence of phenols make water objectionable in taste and odor. Now, elements present in water. Aluminium. Aluminium found in drinking water is mainly from corrosion of aluminium utensils, tanks, and pipes. Sometimes incorrect dosing of aluminium sulfate as a coagulant at the treatment works is also the source of aluminium in water. The concentration of aluminium in drinking water is most harmful to the patient suffering from kidney troubles. Calcium. Presence of calcium has been found in most of the natural water. Concentration of calcium is dependent upon the type and conditions of rocks through which the water has passed. Calcium found as bicarbonate from temporary hardness in water, whereas presence of calcium as sulfates, chlorides, and nitrates are the cause of permanent hardness. Since calcium is essential for human diet, hence even high amount has been permitted in a water system. Excessive amount causes scaling, which is not desirable in industries where steam is to be generated. Copper. Copper as such is not common in unpolluted water. In fact, copper salts are used to control algal growth in reservoirs, and this gives a source of copper. Copper is an essential element in the human diet. Copper also accelerates corrosion of other metals. The rate of corrosion of galvanized steel is considerably increased by presence of 1 milligram per liter of copper, and as little as 0.02 milligram per liter causes pitting of aluminium in some water. Copper found in domestic water supplies is mostly from the corrosion of copper and copper containing alloys used as pipe and fittings in the system. Iron. Iron is found in most of the raw water. Iron can be present in water in the form of solution, colloid, in suspension, or as a complex with other mineral or organic substances. Although it is not harmful, but presence of large quantity of iron in water makes it unpalatable, and even precipitation takes place, taking oxygen from air. The precipitate causes brown stains. Sometimes the deposition of precipitate gives rise to iron bacteria, which cause the quality of water to further deteriorate due to the objectionable odors. Magnesium. Magnesium forms highly soluble salt in water. Magnesium causes hardness due to carbonate as well as non-carbonate. Excessive concentration of magnesium causes scale formation as well as diuretic effect when associated with high concentration of sulfate. At high pH, pH 10.6 and above, magnesium hydroxide is used in lime soda softening. Sodium. As sodium compounds are highly soluble in water, it is very abundant in natural water. Level ranges from 1 milligram per liter to several thousand milligram per liter when it is present in brines. The base exchange or lime soda process to soften hard water causes significant increase in the concentration of sodium. High concentration causes bad taste in addition to health problem to person having sodium restricted diet. Manganese. Deposit of manganese is more common on the interior of distribution system after chlorine has been added for chlorinating. In presence of oxygen, it forms a black slime deposited in the interior of pipes and comes out of the supply occasionally. Even present in small quantities, it may cause trouble. Presence of large quantities makes water toxic, but much before reaching toxic level, the taste of water becomes unbearable. Deposition on the pipe generally occur 10 to 15 years after putting the supply into service. Arsenic. Arsenic may be found in surface water from areas where there are certain types of metalliferous ore. Usually, presence of arsenic is the result of pollution from weed killer and pesticides containing arsenic compounds or from runoff from mining waste. Arsenic is most toxic to man. Hence, if detected in water, the cause of pollution immediately should be investigated. Lead. Lead is a cumulative poison. The main problem of lead in domestic supplies comes from the dissolution of old lead coated pipes. Lead content of drinking water should always be monitored where lead pipes are used. Sometimes more concentration of lead also occur with some types of plastics if the lead compounds used as stabilizer leach out. Nitrogen. Presence of nitrogen in water indicates presence of organic matter. The free ammonia indicates recent decomposition of organic matter. Nitrites indicates presence of partially decomposed organic matter. Nitrates indicates the presence of fully oxidized organic matter, and the organic nitrogen represents the stage before decomposition of organic matter has started. Excess of presence of nitrogen in any kind indicates pollution, and the form in which it is present indicates period or history of the water pollution. Cyanide. Cyanide and its complexes are found in water polluted by industries. Most of the cyanides are biodegradable and are removed by chemical treatment before an effluent is discharged into a river. At pH is equal to 8 and below, the cyanide exists mainly as undissociated hydrogen cyanide, which is more toxic to the aquatic life. Radioactive substances. Water may contain trace of radioactivity by naturally occurring radioactive isotopes of elements such as potassium. In areas with granite, water is found to have traces of the radium. Usually the level of natural radioactivity found in drinking water is very low and there is no health risk at this level. Artificial radioactivity caused by atmospheric nuclear explosion contaminates surface water. In addition, increase in radioactive pollution has been found from effluents of uranium mines and nuclear fuel reprocessing plants. Now, biological characteristics. Bacteria. Among all living things, either in plant or animal kingdom, bacteria are the smallest visible forms. Bacteria belong to group of organisms known as fission fungi and reproduce by direct splitting of a parent cell into two daughter cells, but not by any complicated reproductive process. Bacteria are classified according to their shape. Those which grow in the form of a rod or cylinder are known as bacilli. The spherical forms are called cocci, singular form coccus, whereas the curved or wavy forms are known as spirilla. Bacteria may be pathogenic and non-pathogenic. Here the picture shows the three types of bacteria in referring to shape: spear shape, rod shape and spiral shape. Here the spear shape bacteria name is the Streptococcus pneumonia, and this rod shape is the Salmonella typhi, which do the typhoid fever. Spiral shape Vibrio cholera. Most of the bacteria present in water require oxygen for their survival. Bacteria use dissolved oxygen from the water and decompose organic matter present. Certain type of bacteria can survive with or without oxygen also. Those type of bacteria which require oxygen for their survival is known as aerobic bacteria. Those survive in the absence of free oxygen are known as anaerobic bacteria, and those which can survive with or without free oxygen are known as facultative bacteria. Viruses. Viruses living and self-propagating bodies are not visible even with the strongest compound microscope. They are known to be made up of particular matter and are filtered out by very fine colloidal filter. They cannot be filtered by unglazed porcelain by which bacteria is removed from liquids. Viruses differ from bacteria in the fact that they are much smaller and they multiply only within suitable host cells in which they produce changes which give rise to a range of diseases. Here the picture of some bacteria, some viruses, Ebola, HIV viruses, hepatitis look like this, and influenza. Plankton. These are microscopic plants and animals life that floats in water and serves as a food for small sea creatures and fish. Generally, they are not dangerous for health, but they affect the taste of water by secreting oily liquid, which give bad taste and odor to water. Large quantities of plankton import green, brown, or yellow color to water. Due to their coloring tendencies, they may affect some industries like laundries, dye works, photographic papers, etc. Here the picture of the zooplankton and phytoplanktons. Algae. They are a type of plant that grows in water and flourishes in the presence of sunlight. They contain green substance chlorophyll, which permits them to utilize sunlight for their growth of conversion of carbon dioxide, water, and other substances into organic carbon compounds. They are divided into three categories or groups: Diatomaceae, Chlorophyllaceae, and Cyanophyceae. Here the picture of the algae. Fungi. These are the plants which grow without sunlight and live on other plants or animals, dead or live. Sizes of fungi vary to a great extent. Some are fairly large while others are microscopic. Sometimes they fest in water mains, and are removed with chlorine treatment. Here the picture of the fungi which is produced in the bread. Protozoa. Protozoa are tiny microscopic animals, in fact the simplest and most primitive of all animals. Protozoa is an informal term for a group of single-celled eukaryotes, either free-living or parasitic, which feed on organic matter such as other microorganisms or organic tissues and debris. Eukaryotes means they have the clear nucleus. For locomotion, protozoans have different types of organelles. They may be finger-like protoplasmatic outgrowth called pseudopodia, or whip-lime structure called flagella, or thin and short hair-like protoplasmic processes called cilia. Protozoans produce protective and resistant crust to tide over unfavorable conditions. Paramecium are example of free-living protozoan. Plasmodium causing malaria and Trypanosoma causing sleeping sickness are examples of parasitic protozoans. Here the pictures of the some protozoans: Amoeba proteus, Tetrahymena, and Entamoeba histolytica. So here different types of the protozoans, and this is all about the water quality criteria. In next lecture we will discuss about the water quality analysis. Thank you.